This off. So I'm glad you guys are on here tonight with us. And we are excited. Me and Deanne tonight are going to be sharing with you just some getting started tips as a new coach, because I know in the beginning it can feel overwhelming. It can feel a little bit scary. And you're like, where the heck do I even start? Because there is so much information, which is good, because you're not going to ever feel like as a coach, you don't know how to do anything, because between YouTube, our team page, and the back office training, Google, you can find literally anything, how to run a challenge group, how to build a team. And there's all different opinions, of course, too. But that also makes it hard to know where you need to start. So let me tell you a little bit about me, and then I would love for Deanne, she'll share her story too, and how she got to coaching and where she's been going with it and everything. But I've been a coach. My name is Kristen. I've been a coach now for 7.5 years, which blows my mind, because I honestly can't believe it's been that long. I feel like an oldie now in the coaching business. But I started this honestly with never the intention or thought that I could be someone who would be successful at it. In fact, I held back from becoming a coach for probably a good 8 months, from the time my coach first presented it to me and mentioned it. And I thought, that's good for her upline. She told me about our upline is Summer Tucker, who's been very successful. And she told me about Summer at the time, making like $2,000 a month. Summer makes way more than that now. But back then, I was like, a stay-at-home mom. I just quit my teaching job. I had a newborn at home. And I thought, wow, man, that's amazing. Like, she gets to stay home and she's making that kind of money doing this coaching gig on the side. But I had my hesitations, like I think you probably did, and people that you're talking to, you think, that's good for them, but I would never be able to be doing that, or I don't want to be that salesy person bugging my friends. So I had all those fears. And I think another one of my number one fears was getting started with something that would end up being a financial burden on our family. I did not want to be stuck in a business that I was forced to order a certain amount all the time, or else I wouldn't be able to continue being a rep for that company, and you have to buy yourself back in. I didn't want anything like that. So I had all those fears about failure, basically. So fast forward a little bit, we moved from Japan to the United States. I'm a military spouse, and I got pregnant with my second baby, and our budget was super tight. There just wasn't money left over at the end of the month. And I started really stressing about the future. Like, I could see our bills and I would get to the end of the month or pay period and have to tell my husband, hey, we've got $50 left in what we allotted ourselves every couple of weeks to spend. And, hey, we got to get groceries and we've got to be able to put gas in the car. So don't go buy anything that wasn't necessary. And that gets tiring, feeling like you're always living like that, right? Stressing over every little dollar spent. And being a military family, it just broke my heart that when I would say, hey, I want to drive back home to see our parents and, allow our kids to be able to be around grandparents and aunts and uncles. And my husband's like, we don't need to be spending money doing that all the time, and that made me mad. And so I was just like, enough's enough. What is this coaching thing? My friend presented it to me again, and I was like, all right, what the heck? Let me try it. I actually signed up as a coach about 7 months pregnant. I was very pregnant, and I started right away just running some clean eating challenge groups with some of my friends. And right after I gave birth to my second baby girl, I have 4 now, I started doing P90X like 2 or 3 weeks after I gave birth. Pretty crazy, right? But I was determined. My coach was a good friend of mine, or she still is, and she was just like, Kristen, you can do it. You'll be fine. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to do this. And so I started doing P90X. Again, I was running these challenge groups with my friends on the side, letting them try Shakeology, and they were basically clean eating groups. And within 90 days, I lost all my baby weight. I had abs again. I felt amazing. And that's really where my belief in what I was doing just grew. And here I am now. And so I started setting little milestone goals. I remember my first paycheck, I sold peanut. Oh boy, what did y'all hear of that?
Now you're back. We just lost you, like right at the end of talking about your clean eating groups.
Okay. Well, I'll try to just pick back up where I was talking. So I hope my kids, they're all like on their phones. So it's probably like killing my internet speed. So I remember my first sell was to my next door neighbor for P90X. Back then, we didn't have challenge packs. So it was just DVDs, and you could buy Shakeology separately. And so I remember being super excited to get that $32 commission. And I want you to remember me telling you that, because I think sometimes coaches can get in this comparison trap. Like they'll see other coaches out there making, anywhere from 500 to, 20, 30,000 a month and up. And they're just like, oh, I want to be there. And, just remember to be grateful for every step along the way. I told this on a leadership call today, that I never remember being like, oh man, this sucks. I only made $100 this month, or I only made $500 this month. Like, I've been grateful for the journey along the way. And so you've got to get into that mindset too, to be grateful, because hey, that was $32 that I didn't have before. And I was thrilled to get to help my next door neighbor get started with P90X. But there is huge potential to grow your income. You just have to stick with us. Do the things that we're going to talk about tonight. Do them consistently. Treat this business like a business. If you are here to grow a business, whether it's, part-time, extra few $100s a month, to full-time, you want to quit your full-time gig, all of that's possible. You just have to give it time and trust and consistency. So here I am, I set these little milestone goals. I really started to pick up after a few months into coaching when I finished my first program. Now, I'm not telling you need to finish a program to start taking action. Don't do that. Like, you don't need to be at your goal to start sharing. I was most definitely sharing my journey through P90X every day, talking about it. So people were watching that. And so they got to see that whole process of me losing my baby weight and me getting to that end goal, and showing them how I got there along the way. So it's the journey that people relate to. You don't need to be this perfectly fit coach. And if you portray yourself that way all the time, then people think that they can't do it. So don't be afraid to share your struggles too, and what you're doing to work through it. So my first goal as a coach, was, let me see if I could replace.
She's back.
Tell my kids to get off their devices. I think that's what it is. Hang on. All right, sorry y'all. Hopefully we'll get through this. So anyway, I was like, okay, if I could make that $800 a month, because that's basically what I'd be making if I had to put my 2 kids in childcare on a Florida teacher's income. And I replaced that within a few months. And then I thought, all right, I did that. Now I'm going to go for replacing my full-time teaching income. And I did that within about 2.5 years. And then it was like, okay, now I want to match my husband's income. And the reason why that was important to me, of course, my husband was like, you need to match it plus a little bit more, which I've done. I'm more than double his income, almost 3 times what he makes in the military. And the reason why that was important to me is because if he so chose, and he has now chosen this, to walk away from the military, we had the freedom as a family to do that. Because I was at a point, now we have 4 kids. I tired of the constant moving and uprooting our kids and being told we have to go here or there and not being able to see our family. And that just bothered me. We've done it for 14 years and I was ready to be done with it. And so he submitted his letter just a couple months ago and he's getting out in June. And he's now taking a major pay cut to go fly and get his commercial airline training. And we are thrilled to be able to allow him to do that. And if it wasn't for what I've built with Beachbody over the last 7 years, I mean, we couldn't take care of our family of 4 on a $40,000 a year paycheck. I mean, maybe, but it would be tough, right? And so that's, I'm just sharing that with you guys because obviously I didn't do that in a year, right? It took time, and I just want you to remember that too. And I'm not I wasn't like a fast builder. There's people who have done what I've done way faster. But I've also tried to do this in a way that's balanced with my family. Like I didn't get into coaching to go and work this business 8 to 10 hours a day. I did this to have a part-time side thing that I could do and still be at home with my kids and be present. So, you can certainly build this business up in 1 to 2 hours a day. I now work 4 to 5, but that's, I do like 2 hours in the morning before my kids get up. And then I do an hour or 2 in the afternoon. So I get to spread it out. And then when I'm not working, we can go run errands. We can go to the park. We can do whatever. All right. So Deanne, share a little bit about how you got into coaching and why it's important to you.
All right. Hi guys, I'm Deanne, if you don't know me. So I actually met Kristen through her Facebook like page. Funny story, I just saw like her clean eating group and I was like, oh, I still have my, 15 pounds from college that I need to lose. Maybe I should try this out. And was super happy with like 5 days of clean eating. I just kind of got hooked. And she invited me to coaching. And at that point, I was working full-time as a dental hygienist. And I was like, well, sure, it'd be kind of cool to make, $50 extra a month to pay for date night. But was super content working as a hygienist. I made good money. I wasn't thinking I ever want to make this an actual full-time gig. So I started coaching. I was very slow. I didn't push to build very fast because like I said, I was content where I was at and I didn't have a huge income goal at that point. So fast forward a little bit, I get pregnant and I decided, I didn't want to work full time as a hygienist when I had my now son at home. And so I decided to start actually being more consistent in the business and working, like Kristen said, 1 to 2 hours a day. I didn't work a ton. I was still working full time as a hygienist at that time, but I would work at night for like an hour, hour and a half, maybe a little bit at lunchtime. And that was it. And then I started to see a grow in my income when I was a lot more consistent. And then I was able to, after having my son, cut down to only 2 days a week as a hygienist. So I was able to replace that income with Beachbody. So that was very awesome to have extra time with him. And then I knew that I didn't want to really go back to work anymore. I just knew that this is where my heart was at. I just was so passionate about helping others and knowing that it was, I had the decision of the income that I was making. I put in enough work, I will see my income grow. And at the place I was at for hygiene, I wasn't getting raises here and there. I was basically stuck. I was in a community setting and you just got a base pay. And so it was awesome to have the opportunity to grow my income on my time. So actually this last December, I quit my full-time, I was 2 days a week, quit my hygiene job, and I'm doing coaching full-time now. So it's just very rewarding to be able to do that. And like I've said, to just do it on my own time. And we're actually expecting our second child due in September. So it's really fun to know that I get to spend, I'm super excited for this summer to just be able to be outside and just hang out with my family and not have to, be gone 8 to 5 every single day. So that's kind of my story. Now, went from full-time hygiene to now full-time coaching, which with part-time hours. I absolutely love what I do. And, I'm super excited to see that the more consistent I have been, the more consistent I have been, the more I am seeing my income grow. In the beginning, I think I was a little lackish on consistency. I would do it when it worked for me. But over the last year, I've been very consistent. I'm in that 1 to 2 hours a day, and I've really seen my business grow. So it just shows that you can absolutely do it in your hours. All right, Kristen, you're up. Are you there?
Yeah, I had muted myself. I forgot. Yeah, we'll come back to that about consistency, because I do want to talk about, just to remind me, the importance of that in business hours. So first things first, okay? The most important job you have is to work on yourself. And remember, I said that, when I first became a coach, I picked a program at the time. It was like P90X and Turbo Fire and Insanity was it. Now we have a ton more programs. And so you need to get to know the products and love the products. And that's what's going to allow you to start easily talking to other people about them. So pick a program and work through it beginning to finish. I really am a strong believer in that, because that's what can tell people, like, hey, if you follow this is simple. You follow this calendar and it works. I know for me personally, I used to go to the gym. I loved going to the gym. I would spend 1 to 2 hours at the gym every day prior to having children. That, is not practical once I started having kids. But I honestly would spend all that time there and was not seeing results for someone that you would think would have great results spending that amount of time there, because I didn't really know what I was doing, right? Like I would lift weights, a little bit, then I'd go run on the treadmill for 30 minutes, or I'd take a spin class with doing some random weights at the gym. No real guidance, and I certainly didn't know how to eat right. And so I just wasn't seeing the results. And so what's so amazing about our programs is they were written by trainers. So it takes all that guesswork out for people. And so I'm pretty adamant of following a calendar, unless it's a hybrid that Beachbody said, hey, we've put this hybrid together, because again, that hybrid was put together by trainers. So I know a lot of people are loving the T20 and Lift 4 hybrid right now. That's fine. That was put together by our trainers. So I'm always following a program, unless there's like a 2-week gap between, a program I'm doing and the next one starting, maybe a new release. But other than that, like, I feel lost if I'm not following a program. I'm like, what do I do during this 2 weeks? So right now I'm doing Morning Meltdown 100. I'm in the test group for that. And so I'm loving it. But that's, you doing that is going to allow you to be like, hey, I got these results. All I did was follow a 21-day fix. I did T20 for like 3 rounds. Again, I was in the test group for that one. And it's so funny because people will message me and be like, is that all you did? Like, all you did was 20 minutes? I'm like, yes, that's all I did. Like, they're just like, their mind's blown that I'm only working out 20 minutes a day and getting results. I'm not running. I wasn't lifting weights during that time. I followed the program. I'm like, yes, it's that simple. I just followed the calendar. So that's important. So that's the vital process. You get to know the products, you fall in love with them, you can tell people about them, they get to use the products, they love them, and they tell people about them. So that's very important. That's how we build a business, right? And build people who are passionate about it. So use your resources. There are tons of resources for you guys. If you don't know where to find an answer, we have the Coach Online office. Then there's the team page. And even in our team page, you can search for something. For example, the question about pregnancy and Shakeology, people ask that all the time. If you type in pregnancy into the search bar and dream big, you will find lots of posts to answer that question. FAQ on the Team Beachbody website. You can log in as a coach, go to the coach FAQ, and you can find tons of answers there. And then, of course, YouTube and Google are a great resource. And then every week, Beachbody does a national wake-up call. And this is on the Team Beachbody 411 page, or you can download the Beachbody podcast app, which I use mostly from that. And I listen to the recording during the week. Those are so good, you guys. So invaluable. 7.5 years in, I still listen to them because there's always just new things that coaches are doing that are working and best practices, and things change over time, and so what worked 7 years ago may not work now. And so I want to constantly just be learning and seeing what can I do to be a better leader and a better coach. And of course, our team calls. We do those Monday nights. Sometimes it's a training like this, but then we also do team calls that maybe we have a guest speaker or we teach on a different topic, whether it's inviting or social media or something. So plug into those things. I'm going to let Deanne, you want to talk about the vital behaviors?
Sure. Okay. So, vital behaviors, honestly, guys, these are what it's all about. If you want to be successful in this business, if you follow these 4 things consistently, you'll see success. So apparently be a product of the product, like Kristen said, get a workout program, follow it. Nutrition, like I won't lie, I'm not perfect on nutrition. Apparently I'm pregnant right now, so I can kind of use it as an excuse. Just kidding. But like, honestly, like just follow the workout calendar. If you're using the containers, share about that, follow that, follow the portions, all that good stuff. And then share that stuff. So if you're someone who uses stories, which I definitely recommend if you're not using them, to use like Facebook and Instagram stories. But share little videos of you working out and of you of you meal prepping, like easy stuff like that people will relate to and see that it doesn't take all day for you to do that kind of stuff. And then connecting with people as well. So, basic conversations with people. Honestly, this business is all about community and like being personable with people. Like you want to connect with people, just make normal conversations, send out happy birthday messages, simple things like that. So they know that you're not just like, when you're chatting with somebody, you're not just trying to sell them something. You truly are trying to give them a gift and change their life. And then inviting as well. Inviting is apparently the core of this business. You have to invite people to do it with you. I know a lot of people think it's scary to invite, but I think once you get over that, you realize that you're actually like, you're seriously giving people a gift. Like if Kristen would have never invited me to this, even the nutrition side of things, I would probably still be overweight. I would have never lost the 60 pounds that I gained when I was pregnant the first time around. Like, my life would definitely be absolutely different. So you have to not be afraid to invite and to share this with people. Personal development is super important. I was a stickler in the beginning and I was like, I don't need personal development. What is it going to do for me? Like my mind is fine. And that was wrong. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you absolutely need to read something. You can listen, especially as a mom. I know I don't have a lot of time to sit down and read. So I love podcasts. There's a ton of great ones out there. I know I have a drive that has some of my favorite ones. I'm sure we can share it to you guys, but like the Life Coach podcast is a really good one. Women Inspiring Women by Melanie Mitro is a really good one. Trying to think what other ones I like. I like Shalene Johnson. She's got a good one out there, but there's a ton of different ones out there depending on what you need to listen to. And I'll just throw them on while I'm doing laundry or, cleaning the house. You don't have to sit down and listen. Or if you have a commute to work, you can definitely drive, and listen as well. I'm trying to add this into more like just 10 minutes a day of reading an actual book. So that is something I'm trying to add in. But like I said, personal development can come in all sorts of different ways. It doesn't have to be sitting down and reading. And then the last vital behavior is getting people results, which honestly, if you share with them what you're doing and you just tell them to follow what the trainers have already created, you don't have to and telling them to follow it, and they will get results. And then just celebrate them along the way. Celebrate your coaches as they do awesome things, and just start to see results. You guys know these products work, so if you believe in them, so will your customers. Okay.
Awesome. So what is your first goal as a coach? Your first goal is to help 3 people get started with the program. And Shakeology, also known as a challenge pack. Yes, they can also get started with just Beachbody on demand, or they can get started with just Shakeology. Usually, though, I'm mostly talking to people about challenge packs because I feel like it's the best value for the customer. But of course, you do get commission from just selling BOD or just selling Shakeology. But I believe in the package deal because you need both. Like, you need fitness and you need nutrition. Honestly, if there's one over the other, they need nutrition more than anything because that's where we're getting 80 to 90% of our results is by what we're putting in our bodies. So, but why is that important? Why do we say 3? Well, that helps you reach what we call Success Club. And Success Club is a goal that every coach, if you're wanting to build a business, this should be one of those goals that you set for yourself every month. For me, it's a non-negotiable goal. You can aim for either Success Club 5 or 10 points. There's 2 different levels. You can get more than that, of course, but minimum to qualify for Success Club, you need 5 points. And there's different benefits from hitting 5 versus going all the way to 10 or more. But the cool thing is, and I'll explain what Success Club is in a minute, but if you hit Success Club in your first 3 months as a coach, so if you signed up in April, this could be April, May, June, or it could start in May, June, July. But if you hit 3 months in a row, you'll get a free ticket to Summit. Now, Summit this year is in July, so I believe I need to look up the FAQ on that actually, but you would probably get a ticket to next year's Summit. I don't know when that.
Yeah, I think it's next year.
Is it next?
I think it had to be. I think March they had to qualify for their first month to have it be for this year's Summit.
So March, April, May. So now, if you do it your first 3 months, you would be planning to go to Summit next summer, which is really awesome, you guys. That is an awesome goal to be striving for. And let's see. Oh, so it says start with your friends and family while you grow your cold market. So that's who you're going to start reaching out to first. While at the same time starting to build connections with people maybe you haven't talked to in a while, or adding new people to your network via Instagram or Facebook. Last week, Whitney did a great team call on that. If you guys go back into the Dream Big units, you can watch her team call on how to build your funnel. But basically, here's how you hit Success Club. Now, I actually need to edit this flyer, so don't look at Daily Sunshine anymore. We do have Daily Sunshine, but it does not count for Success Club. Because they lowered the price of Daily Sunshine, it does not qualify for points. But of course, you do still get commission from selling Daily Sunshine. But otherwise, if you sign up a coach or a challenger with any of these different things, whether it's a challenge pack, Shakeology on Home Direct, Performance Line, the Performance Line has to be like a combination of programs to get to 90 PV. So maybe like Recover and Energize is the 2 main that I tend to sell from that. If they get a 3-carton box of Beach Bars, or any combination of Home Direct products that equal a total of 90 PV, you get 1 point. So why is Success Club a cool goal to aim for? Of course, yes, the free Summit ticket, but once you are an Emerald coach, and this means you have your first 2 coaches on your team, and you hit Success Club, Beachbody is now going to send you customer leads. And so these are free customers that if they ever order from you, you get the commission. So obviously I've now been a coach for a long time, and I have a lot of customer leads now in my back office. And every month I have customer lead orders come through that's extra income that I didn't find that person. Beachbody sent them to me. I even get random Success Club points now from customer leads. I'll look back there and be like, oh, how do I have 4 more points? Oh, it's a random customer that has been receiving my emails that I send out and newsletters, and they, maybe they saw a Beachbody ad for something, and because Beachbody sends out emails to them too, and they click, and that commission goes to me. So that's a really awesome perk for Success Club 5. If you help 5 people get started a month or more, you're going to qualify for Success Club 10, which gets you customer leads, but also Success Club leads, which is slightly different. So on customer leads, I don't get that initial purchase. So let's say they've signed up for BOD. You don't get that first order, but now they're my customer, and if they ever order again, I do get commission. But on a Success Club lead, these are people that have ordered like Shakeology, and I do get the commission right away. So I get, 1 to 2 of those a month. It kind of just varies between how many customers they have coming in and how many coaches out there are hitting Success Club. But that's automatic commission just from hitting Success Club 10 the month prior. And then Beachbody has like prizes that they give out for hitting Success Club so many months in the year, and you'll get these awesome prizes in the mail. All right. Anything to add on that, Deanne?
No, I think you're good.
It's just a good benchmark for yourself to know that, hey, if I'm helping 3 to 5 people per month get started in this business, I'm moving in the right direction. That's building momentum. And of course, you're helping new people as well get results. That's our job as coaches. All right. So how do we start working towards getting interest for our challenge groups in order to qualify for Success Club? Do you want to talk about this, Dan?
Sure. We'll call it like jab, jab, right hook. You'll see that or when people talk like call to action posts. So basically what you're doing is, you're sharing little bits, of what you're doing or, what you have available. You're kind of like poking at it here and there. So maybe you're talking about, on one post you do, I worked out from home. It was only 20 minutes, whatever, and then the next post you're talking about nutrition. And then you're going to do like a call to action post where you actually share, the date, like when you're starting a challenge group, what you're offering these people. You're going to put it all out there and then, comment at the end saying like, if you're interested, comment below or message me, drop your favorite GIF, whatever like that. But the biggest thing here is you still have to invite people. Like you can't expect all those people to come to you. You might get 1 or 2 that, message you or do comment on that post. People are reading your posts though. Like they do see it. They are consistently seeing those posts. They may just not be liking it, but if you reach out to them, they might be like, okay, yeah, like I do actually want to get started. So the biggest thing there is you have to stay consistent on your social media so that they see that you are always there. But then you do have to take that initial, jab at them and invite them to actually join you to do the challenge group with you. And then on here too, it says you can either host your own group or you can team up with another coach. I have several coaches that I have that do it with me. We have a large group. I know I was in Kristen's when I first started. So, don't be afraid that you have to like start your own challenge group the first month you sign up as a coach. You can kind of work your way into that, do a few months with your coach and then either run one by yourself or team up with another coach and run one together.
Yeah, post is you could do right now because we are obviously going into summer months. And I mean, Deanne and I have already had to be in swimsuits because we went on a cruise. But a lot of people are swimsuit shopping and they're like, oh my gosh, I haven't been in a swimsuit all winter. I'm in trouble. And so you could do a post to gain some interest as well where you do the little hearts and you say, just drop a heart below what would be an awesome goal for you to accomplish by 4th of July. And you could say like red heart equals lose 5 to 10 pounds, yellow heart, 10 to 15 pounds, or, you see what I'm saying? And so then they just comment with which heart, like what would be an awesome goal that they would like to reach by the 4th of July. And I'm just saying 4th of July, you don't have to pick that date, but that was just what came to mind. But that would be a great way to create some engagement on your page because people are just going to comment with their little heart. And then you then can step in a personal message and just say, hey, I saw you commented that by the 4th of July, you would love to lose 10 pounds, and then you could talk to them about helping them find a solution. Like, hey, I don't know if you've seen me talk about this yet, or maybe you haven't posted about it. And you could say, I haven't really shared a lot about this yet, but I'm getting started on my own fitness journey, and I'm starting to run these groups alongside my coach. This has helped me so much with XYZ. Or if you haven't really had a start yet on your journey, you could say, I'm really excited about this because look at these results. And you could share someone else's transformation picture. And say, you know, have you thought about doing something like this before? Would you like me to send you some more information? And so now you get to open up a conversation with them. But before you vomit information on them, I would ask them first if they're interested. And if they are, then I would start talking to them about, okay, I know you want to lose 5 to 10 pounds. What are you doing right now? And just talk to them a little bit about why is that important to them? What are they doing now that's working or not working? And then you can come in and say, you know, I think based on what you're saying, I think this will help you. And you can offer a solution, whether it's 21-day fix or portion fix or, you know, 2B mindset, whatever you think is appropriate for that person based on what they're telling you. All right. Your first few invites we're going to talk about that. Hang on. What, Brooklyn? All right. So as a coach, you are going to become a conversation expert. Your goal is to connect with at least 3 new people a day. That's 20 people a week. It doesn't take that long to just reach out and connect with someone personally on Facebook or Instagram. One easy way to do that is look at whose birthday it is. You know, that's not like an awkward out of the blue thing to send someone a message and say, hey, you know, I wanted to say happy birthday to you. I know I could have posted on your page, but I like personal messages so much better. Are you doing anything to celebrate? And then just talk to them. That just opens up the conversation. That doesn't mean you're going to invite them to something right away. But you know, that's a big part of my time when I sit down to work is just engaging with people's posts and their pictures, and commenting on their things, and also just talking to them. So you're not necessarily reaching out to close them. You're just reaching out to open the door. Be brief and be excited. End every message with a call to action question. Meaning you want to make sure when you're messaging people that you give them something to respond to hopefully keep the conversation going. When it comes to inviting, find their need before you fix their need. So just like I said a while ago, you know, if you did do a post, for example, and you reach out to somebody, don't vomit the information. You want to take your time to find out why. If you can really get to the root of why someone wants to lose 10 pounds, or 100 pounds, what does that mean to them? That's powerful, right? Like if you can really get to the root of why it's important, not just because they want to look good in a swimsuit. I mean, that's a goal, you know, hey, I'm going on a cruise and I want to rock my swimsuit, but why? Why do they want to do that? Why does that matter? And so ask good questions. And then you can come back into when you go to close the conversation, you can say, you know what, I'm so excited to help you lose those 30 pounds so that you can feel confident and sexy in front of your husband when you go on your vacation. And I want to help you do this. Based on what you told me, I really think 21-day fix is going to be the solution to help you get there. And here's why. Okay. Recognize and welcome objections as a part of the process. You're going to get objections. That doesn't mean, though, that it's a stop sign. Try to navigate through them a little bit. I'm not saying to push, but you know, the price objection, of course, is going to be one that you're going to get. And so remember, feel, felt, found. I know how you feel. I felt that way when what I found was. Because I'm sure, you know, many of you probably thought at first, oh my gosh, Shakeology is that much per month. But what I found was I realized how much I was spending going to Starbucks during the week because I was always tired, or I would stop by Sonic. I used to go get strawberry limeades all the time. And all that sugar in there, even a diet strawberry limeade still got sugar from all the, strawberry stuff they're putting in. But, all that adds up. And so I would just share, I used to do that and it just wasn't serving me. And I just learned to cut some of that stuff out of our budget, and Shakeology replaces a meal for me every day. So I'm actually buying less groceries. So in the end, it really evened out, if not saves me money. And then honestly, I'm able to oftentimes navigate through that with the challenge pack, because even if they're like, well, I just want to do the workouts, I don't want Shakeology, I can usually talk to them about, hey, Shakeology is going to really give you a good start on your fitness journey, and you're getting to try it for less than half the cost when you bundle it with BOD. So try it for 30 days. And if after 30 days you don't love it, you can either send it back, or you don't have to continue it, but you still will get your Beachbody on demand if you cancel it. But I know you're going to love it, so give it a shot, because it is such a good deal when you're bundling it. So a lot of times they are willing to try it for 30 days. That's $2 a day, for a meal. That's not bad. We do have scripts to help guide you, but, don't be a robot either. Like copying and pasting, I feel like my invites go better if I'm just talking like, typing like I'm talking to them, like they're right in front of me. Smile while you're messaging people. It goes a long ways, and it comes across in your wording and the energy you're putting out. If you feel like you're just in such a funk that day and you're like, oh my gosh, I just don't want to talk to people, we all have those days, right? What helps me is do a little personal development and turn on some fun music while I'm doing my inviting and talking to people. That puts me in a better state of mind, and I'm in a more positive, frame to be able to talk to them and send out excited messages. Don't send them your link right away. Sometimes people are like, yeah, share with me what you're doing. And then a coach will send them a link to the website, and people are like, I don't know what to look at. Or they're like, whoa, that's expensive. Never mind. So don't do that. I never send a link out to my Beachbody website. Like if a link is sent out, it's because we've talked about what they're going to do, and it's directly to the product that they're signing up for. Because otherwise they don't know what they're clicking on. There's just too much information there. Don't show up and throw up. I talked about that already. Follow up forever. Don't give up on people. Obviously don't be annoying about it, but I after I send an invite, I wait about 48 hours. And if they haven't responded, I follow up with like, hey, I'm just checking back in. I know life is busy. I sometimes see my messages and get distracted with the kid, and then I forget to respond. So I just want to touch base again. Did you see my message and think it over? And so much of the time people are like, oh my gosh, that's what happened. I'm sorry. I just got busy. And they may say it's just not a good time right now. And that's okay. At least you got a response, right? You say, no worries. I can always check back in a month or two and see if that's better timing for you. Would that be okay? And oftentimes they'll say yes. And then you need to keep the conversation going. Well, catch me up on how you're doing. Where are you working these days? Just find out what's going on in their life if you don't already know. Because that goes a long ways. Building that trust and showing that you actually care about what's happening with them versus, well, you didn't want to order from me right now, so I'm just not going to talk to you. Like, be a friend. And then if I follow up the third time, it's usually like, hey, no worries, no pressure at all. If now's not a good time, I hope I'm not bugging you. I can always check back later. Usually when I say, I hope I'm not bugging you, they respond. And they're like, oh my gosh, I've just been so busy. I'm sorry. I'm not ignoring you. And so at least now, air's clear. I'll check back another time. And sometimes, they may just keep ignoring me, and that's fine. I may go to engaging on their page after that. And when the timing's right, I may reach back out, especially if I do see them starting to like and comment on my stuff. But if people are, you got to think too, like, especially if they don't know you at all on social media and you're like this new person in their life, and now they're like watching what you're doing, or you invite them and they're like, I'm not buying $160 from you. I don't know who you are, right? So it takes time to build that trust. So your job is to show up consistently on social media. So over time, people watch what you're doing. I mean, literally, I've had people watch me for a few months all the way to years, years before they're like, okay, maybe timing changes, something in their life changes, and they're ready to start. So follow up forever. Okay, second goal as a coach, get to Emerald. Deanne, you want to talk about this part?
Yeah. So second, like we talked about Success Club as your first goal as a coach. So second goal is get to Emerald. Emerald is very easy, guys. It's just signing up 2 coaches. So one of them can be your spouse. I definitely recommend signing your spouse up right away. I know Kristen mentioned that she signed up Greg right away. So he's way up here on her, in her downline. So he gets all that cycle bonus. I signed up my husband right away, and then I didn't have, I wasn't really working the business very much, and I actually ended up canceling his account. I regret it every single moment since then, because then I did start working the business. I ended up sign him up a little bit later. So he is still pretty high up in my downline, but I do wish he was at the top. So I definitely recommend signing your spouse up right away. You can sign them up with a challenge pack. When you do it like that, you're going to receive commission off of that challenge pack. So it's going to be even cheaper than, what the initial cost is. So when you look at it that way, it's a little bit easier. And then your other coach that you sign up can be, maybe a family member that likes Shakeology, and, they're just going to take advantage of the discount. Maybe it's one of your first customers that ordered something, a challenge pack from you, and they want to get started as a coach, either to coach or to take advantage of the discount. A lot of coaches that I signed up to take advantage of the discount. So it's not, you don't have to always look for business builders. Apparently we want business builders, but, don't be afraid to offer the discount to people when you're getting started, because it's a great discount. And like, if you love Shakeology, like, why not give them the discount? So go Emerald, and then your goal is just to continue to go Emerald every single month. You want to continue to add, at least 2 coaches to your team every month. That's going to build you to eventually Ruby, and then Diamond, and then you go beyond from there. But basically just concentrate on going Emerald every single month and adding at least 2 coaches to your team every month.
Yeah. And honestly, share the coaching opportunity with everybody. I loved, I don't know if you were in the training, Deanne, on the ship, but Danielle Natoni, sorry, her last name changed, but Danielle Natoni shared about how she does offer the coaching opportunity to everybody that she's talking to, whether someone talking about signing into a challenge group or directly in the business opportunity, but she offers it to them because she's like, I'm not God. Like, I'm not going to decide for them whether they want to be a coach or not. So yes, I do want to talk to people directly about, hey, this is a business. I want them to see that, not just as a discount, right? So you want to make sure they understand that there is an opportunity there, but you can certainly present it to everybody. Hey, there is an option when you sign up in our challenge group that you can, and it costs you the same either way. You can sign up as a regular challenger. You'll get your bod, your Shakeology, and the nutrition guide for $160, or even better, sign up as a coach like I am. You'll be able to get 25% off all your future orders. So even with the $15.99 a month fee to be a coach, you're still going to come out about $20 ahead just on your Shakeology. And of course, there's other awesome things too, like our beach bars and Energize. And I'll tell them, you can cancel at any time. There's no quota or anything like that. So I do let them know up front there is a $15.99 fee. I don't want them to be like, a month later, what is this? But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are like, yeah, that sounds great. Like, sign me up for that. I don't have to do anything. And I'll say, no, but if you ever do want to make more of it, we can go that route. But if you want to focus on your journey right now, then we'll do that as well. So this is what it looks like to go Emerald. If you look in the back office and look at your genealogy, you'll see something that kind of looks like a family tree. So you're at the top. You need to be active with 50 PV every month, which means Shakeology is 90 PV. So as long as you have that on continuing order, you'll be made an active coach. And then you need to coach on your left and right leg. Active status matters as far as if you're a business building coach, you want to remain active because as you build your team, there's volume building up underneath you. If you go inactive, that volume goes to zero. And so our team creates a lot of volume. And so everybody has a strong and weak leg, okay? Your team leg and then the leg that only you and your team is going to build. But on your strong leg, you know, Deanne could be placing a coach there, I could be placing coaches there, and so on. You can be placing coaches there, and that builds volume for you, which helps you make money, and it's going to help you cycle as you start to build your other leg as well. And so any accumulated volume sitting over there on your strong leg, you don't lose that. I don't want to get too much into cycling. Just know that don't go inactive because you could be like totally losing. I mean, I have coaches that have so much volume, they would be losing like $200,000-$300,000 in accumulated volume by dropping to inactive. That's crazy. So sometimes coaches need to look at what they're sitting on and carry over so they can build up that other leg. So initial invite example, when you first start talking to people, because I know sometimes it can be a little scary to get that first invite out. So here's what it looks like. Think of your closest friends and family, you know, people that already trust you, aunts, uncles, cousins, best friends, neighbors, and just say, hey, girl, I just signed up for this because look at these results. I'm super excited, but also kind of nervous. Would you want to do this with me and we could hold one another accountable? And so send them a before and after picture, whether it's yours or someone else's from our team page or from, you know, Beachbody on-demand blog. There's, the before and after results in there are incredible. And then say, you know, wait for the response, then talk to them about what you're going to be doing, and then offer the coach discount. So 2 options, I just said this to you guys. 2 options to enroll, both cost you the same amount. First is as a customer, you'll get the bod for a year, 30 days of Shakeology and containers for $160 plus our online meal planning. Or you can sign up as a coach. Same cost on enrollment, but you'll get 25% off on all future orders. So your Shakeology goes from $130 to $97. Plus you'll save on anything else you want to order, like the bars, which are amazing, blah, 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 blah. Usually they'll ask after that, so I don't have to do anything else. There's no other cost. And that's when I usually explain $15.99 a month, but you can cancel at any time too. Okay, so that is that. You guys, I can put this in the page later, or you can screenshot it right now real quick if you want to. I'm going to give you all a second to do that. I can drop it in chat too. All right, so share your journey. Let's talk about social media. Do you want to do this, Deanne, or me?
I can do it.
We didn't plan this out. We were just kind of like, we'll just bounce it back.
Wing it. That's like way outside my comfort zone because I'm like an organized freak.
I think Deanne is about to kill me today because she's like, what am I supposed to talk about? I'm like, just come on, we got this.
We'll just talk. Okay, so yes, you are a coach, but that's not all you are. I think that is so huge. If you follow any of the top Beachbody coaches, you will realize that they are all different. None of them are the same. And, maybe you follow a certain person because of their personality or whatnot. Now, don't ever, follow too many of them because then be like, oh, I want to be like them, whatever. But, I think it's okay to have one or two that you like to follow. But it just shows that, you have to, share more of you, So, if you look at this color wheel, we say be colorful. You could print something like this out, and in each one of those little triangles, write something special about you. Maybe you're a dog mom, a boy mom, you're married, a military wife, whatever makes you different, blonde hair, it can be very simple stuff. Maybe you like to do crafts, anything like that, but fill that in. And then when you're sharing on social media, share those parts of your life as well. Everyone knows, that you are about fitness and you're about nutrition, but, do they know all those other pieces of your life that they'll connect with on a deeper level? So, I apparently share a ton about being a boy mom and my son, and, family is huge for me. So I share a lot about family. I have a dog. I share about that. I used to coach before I had my son high school sports. Like I love volleyball. And so I, share like stuff like that. And, it doesn't mean you need to post daily about those things, but if you're, doing stories, share that stuff in your stories. People like to see that you are real and, what you're all about, and that you're not just, you don't just work out and eat clean, like you're a normal person. So definitely share all the bits and pieces of your life. Do you want to talk about the next one?
Yeah, that's fine. So be patient and consistent with social media. You need to show up every day, adding value. Personalize what you're doing, make things eye-catching. Lighting matters. Try to get in front of a window. Don't post dark, blurry photos. It's just part of marketing, right? I'm not saying you have to always look perfect and have perfectly groomed hair, but I certainly don't. If you go on my stories, you'll see like my hair is usually like sticking out everywhere. It's a mess. And that's okay. Stories are different. Like they don't need to be super groomed. Mine are just kind of like random throughout my day. And that really allows people to see a little bit into your life. Like, hey, she's doing this. She's got the crazy kids and she's getting a fitness journey in and rocking a business. So, and she's not perfect. Maybe I could do this. But your pictures need to be eye-catching, to then scroll stopping, right? You want to make people want to stop and see. So make them pop, especially on Instagram. Instagram, they say to use, like they say, marry a filter. So find a filter you like and use that. And it's totally up to you which one you want to use, but you do want some consistency in the coloring in your page. I would say my page is very like bright. Some people you'll go to their page and maybe it's very white. There's one coach that, Ali Tessitore, like she only wears black. Like she's a blonde girl. She's beautiful. And like her page is just black and white. Like all her workout clothes are black. And it's a very beautiful page. So she's very consistent with that. It's interesting. And so tell a story and inspire in your posts. So in other words, don't just post, got my 21-day fixed workout in today, and then that's it. Like, okay, first of all, you don't need to say the name of the program in all your posts. I very rarely do that. I talk more about my at-home program, my 20-minute-a-day or 30-minute-a-day program, why I love that I can fit this in wherever, or my kids are working out beside me. Why am I on this journey? I'm telling more of the story behind it, not about the product. Don't post links. Don't post without a story. Don't scream sales or stock photos, and then not personalize your stuff. Okay. So your fitness journey, your business journey is very similar, right? Like just like our fitness journey doesn't happen overnight, our business journey doesn't happen overnight either. We have to track our fitness to see results, figure out what we're doing, watch the scales, figure out what we're eating, different foods that make our body respond in different ways. Same thing with our business. You've got to track. And so using something like the business activity tracker to make you focus on the right behaviors is super important. And having an idea of how many people you're talking to. I remember as a new coach, it was super eye-opening when I was feeling frustrated and I was like, hey, nobody wants to join me this month and I keep hearing no. And when I wrote down how many people I'd invited, it was like 10 to 12 people that month. That's just not enough. Maybe you'll at Success Club, but really for every 10 people you talk to, maybe 1 to 2 is going to say yes. But those no's don't mean no forever. So just because they said no this month, 2 or 3 months down the road, they may say yes. And so everything you do today will impact your business 60, 90 days down the road. That's why it's very important to be consistent. As soon as you stop, your results are just going to get further away. Don't compare yourself to anybody. Some coaches are going to move the business faster than you. Some are going to be slower than you. There's not necessarily a reason behind that. You don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. You don't know how much time they're putting in. And you may be putting more time in them than they are, but maybe they had a different following, or I don't know. There's different reasons, but you cannot compare yourself to anyone. Sorry, Amanda, we're going late. So that's going to steal your joy, and it's going to frustrate you. You do you. You stay focused on the business and your activities, and do your business activity tracker. If you feel like, hey, I've invited 100 people this month and I'm not getting anybody, talk to your coach and let them help you with your invites. Maybe there's something that they can help you with social media or in the way you're inviting that can be tweaked to help you improve. Okay. We'll try to speed it up here. Okay. Do you want to go over this breakdown?
Yeah. So basically, this kind of breaks down what, as far as commission wise, like income wise, what you can make. So, if you just start helping 3 people every single month, the basic challenge pack is like $50 in commission. So 50 times 3 is $150. You're making $150 commission your first month. Now your second month, if you help another 3 people, that's $150 again. But then most likely those people from the first month, if they're seeing results and they're loving it, they'll stay on Shakeology. And that's another $32 a person commission. So that would be $246 added up. So that's your second month commission, and even if 2 out of the 3 added up, that's still really good to have that continual commission coming in. And then month 3, again, add another 3 people on there. 6 new people continue, or 6 of those people from the last couple months are continuing with Shakeology. So, almost $400 in commission. So your total for 3 months is almost $800. If you think about that, all you're focusing on is helping 3 people a month. And, in 3 months, you can make $800. I think if people focus on that and not thinking, oh, I need to make $800, what do I, how many challenge packs do I need to sell? Just work on, help 3 people each month and help those 3 people get results. They're going to see results and they're going to want to continue on that journey and continue, using Shakeology, trying the other products, all that good stuff.
Yeah. And that doesn't even include if you got to Emerald during that time and leads that you could be getting in too.
Yeah. It is really crazy how much those leads add up, especially when you're hitting SC10 and all of a sudden you see a random $32 commission from a Shakeology order that you don't know the person. It is really cool to see the leads come in. I love checking my back office to see, if I got what leads I got for the month.
Yeah. Have you ever heard Kimberly Wilcox? I think she has someone that orders every year, it's the same day or something every year. It's this massive order of Shakeology. It's 800 something. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember her saying that. I have a lead that he orders, because I contacted him the first time I did it, and it's every December he orders 3 bags of Shakeology for his daughters. And so I'm always ooh, I know it's coming right around Christmas time. And it's just a guy that ordered online, and I, he got given to me because I hit Success Club and was Emerald. So very easy goals to get an additional income.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what now? I actually need to change this slide. We don't do Thinkific anymore. I'll show you, make sure you guys know where to find training. But commit to your program, drink your Shakeology, and do your 10 minutes minimum of personal development a day. Honestly, I probably do more an hour a day. Not reading. I don't have time to read an hour with 4 kids. But podcast, I'm listening to it while I'm cooking, while I'm doing my hair, laundry, all the time. Begin sharing your journey. I ripped that Band-Aid off. Share your journey. Invite people to join you. You are going to be surprised when you get that post out there, the support you're going to get, and people asking you, what are you doing? Don't get overwhelmed. It's one step, one conversation, and one goal at a time. just find some people to join you and then be like, I have someone to join me where I stick on. Then talk to your coach. We'll get them into a challenge group somewhere. I'm a sapphire, so I'm not really like a worried about detailed person. And I know my emerald personalities. If we talk about personality traits, this isn't emerald rank, but emeralds are very like, they like facts, they like structure. And I'm not like that. I'm like, hey, we're going to do this. Great idea. And then everyone's like, how's it going to work? I'm like, I don't know. We're just going to do it. And then we're going to figure it out like tonight. But no, for real though, like if you wait to know all the answers, you're never going to start. Okay. So talk to people. The main goal is to help people get started. And then most of the time, you know, you're going to be teaming up with your coach in the beginning anyway with challenge groups versus running one by yourself. I want to show you real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Deanne.
I was just going to say, I think like when I first started, I remember messaging like you, Kristen, all the time, like questions, because I was like, oh my God, I don't know. Like I never looked up training for that. But I think the biggest thing is like, you don't have to know all the answers. You know, that's why you have upline support, and just don't be afraid to, you know, talk to your coach that signed you up. And, you know, if they have an objection or whatnot, whatever it is, you know, we're here to help you guys out. We want you to be successful.
Yeah, there's no dumb questions. You're not bugging your coach by asking them questions. Like when I have a new coach who's messaging me, asking me things, I welcome that, because I'm like, this person's eager to learn. That shows me that this is someone who's teachable, that they're excited about working this business and they're ready to go.
Yeah, I agree.
So we always have pinned announcements here, so you can find some important information usually here on the team page. That's where I post the calendar. So if you're like, hey, when's Kristen running her challenge groups? You know, when are our team calls? I post this at the beginning of every month. And then I need to unpin a few things, but there's a past like Emerald and 24-hour call you could watch, as well as our old Getting Started Right call. So I try to keep things like that there. Units, you've probably seen this because this is like the landing page for our team page, but this is also where you can refer your future coaches to start with the welcome letter. But just what I wanted to point out, you probably ran across this if you've started working through the units, but if not, I want to make sure you guys know about the business activity tracker, because that, if you take anything away from this, print this business activity tracker and use it. It is so incredibly helpful to make you focus on the right activities. So there's no questioning us, so well, what am I supposed to post about and what am I supposed to do to grow this business? Just start doing these things. And I like that they've updated this with little timers that you could set for yourself. That helps me a lot, because otherwise you can feel a little squirrely, like you're inviting and then you get messages coming in. Now I'm responding to messages. Now I'm off track. Like, if you set a timer, like right now, all I'm doing is inviting. I got people on my list, or I'm going to look at people who are liking and commenting on my stuff. I'm inviting them. And then you don't need to respond to the messages coming in right away. That's for another block. Set another block of time for 20 minutes. And if all you do is focus for 20 minutes on answering messages, you can get through a lot, because my inbox can get quite congested. And so when it's like that, I go to the bottom, set a timer for 20 to 30 minutes, and I just power through as many as I possibly can. When the timer's done, I'm done. Like, if I can get to people within 24 to 48 hours, that's okay. You know, like they don't expect you to be living on your phone either, and that's not fair to your family, okay? So set your business times. So that's something you need to figure out, is when are you going to work this business during the day? It doesn't have to be all at once. Maybe it is. It just depends on the structure of your day. But schedule in some times that work for you. For me personally, I do about 2 hours in the morning. I do get up before my kids get up and work as much as I can until I have to get them ready for school. And then I may have a little bit more time after my older ones get on the bus to work another hour. But and then it's, you know, a little bit of nap time, a little bit of bedtime. If you work during the day, obviously you're going to have to structure your day a little bit differently. But I mean, like Brittany St. Germain, one of our new diamonds, she'll, in the car pickup line, 25 minutes, bam. While she's waiting for school to get out, she'll send out her 25 invites. She does 25 invites a day, and she does them in about 30 minutes just from going to Instagram and, engaging with people there. So, all right, I'm done. And Dan, anything else? Or are you good?
Nope, good.
All right. So y'all get those BATs printed off. Print off 52 of them and be here in a year. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks, Dan.
Bye.